Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Renee Graziano.
Hi, how
What
are you?
good? What's going on with you? How is Staten Island going today?
Okay, well, Staten Island, it started out that I was supposed to be in New Jersey, but my grandson got pink eye. Well, I moved to Florida like 5 months ago, and I just uprooted myself, so I have nobody in Florida. So I had to come back to Staten Island, and I got to spend time with my grandkids, but last night I had to work. So this morning he's got pink eye. It's like forget work. You got to get back over and take care of family. But it's a nice feeling to have family.
Where in Florida did you move?
It's west, like Wellington. It's not me. I don't fit in at all. I can fit in Boca. I can fit in Miami, of course. But Wellington, I'm a little like fish out of water. I'm
What
a
prompt?
shark. I'm the
What
shark, though.
I would say you're a shark. I mean, what prompted this move?
Recovery, sobriety, just detaching from old habits, people, and sobriety is way more than drugs or alcohol. It's like it's a mental state of mind. For me, it's a mental state of mind, and I had to just remove myself from things that were no longer serving the purpose that I thought they even were to begin with. There was a lot of people that had to go.
Yeah, that's healthy, right? When you get to that point.
It is, but it's lonely because the most of the people that you've picked up along the way are only here for money, fame, using you for something. You know what I mean? So you want to rely so that mental sadness attacks. And for me, it was always let me self-medicate and not feel those emotions of being used. Because when you wake up one day and you realize that a lot of people are only around you for the good times and not through your rough times, it's like, ooh, and you find yourself alone in Florida, in Wellington.
I swear, the older I get, it's like your real circle is just so small. It's unbelievable how small it is, right? And
It's
that's
like
it's
TV
not
show.
bad, right? It's not so bad.
It's not if no. I have my daughter-in-law. Actually, I just found out this morning. So she's gonna give birth to the twin girls on the 7th of March. That makes four grandchildren, under five. So no, I'm preoccupied. I'm preoccupied.
I want to talk about it. We have so much to talk about. I mean, when you talk about being like used and people are just there for money and fame, like, did you really see it like after Mob Wives first came out? Was it just like people came out of the woodworks?
Well, no, this has been pretty much all of my life because of who my dad was. So guys wanted to date me because they wanted to be around my father, not even me. They wanted to be around that lifestyle. So I saw somebody using me, like my marriage, like, and that's sad, but they wanted to get close to that fire. So how do you get close to the fire? You go out with the wise guy's daughter, and that's what happened. So I saw it very very early on. Mob Wives was a shocker though, because it went from, I knew that guys were, you know, a girl knows a guy's using her in many different ways, but the girls, you're kind of shocked when you find out why females want to be friends with you. Like, because you want to go to a fancy party? Like, okay, you could have the invite. I don't want to put on the dress and the high. Like, I want to be in the sweat clothes. We do makeup all day long. So finding out who really were your friends at the very end, sad,
It
sad.
is sad. I mean, can you believe, you speak of Mob Wives, can you believe 2011? That was like, does that feel like yesterday or does that feel like 12 long years to you?
You know what? We started in 10. So we aired like top of 11. So it feels like a lifetime ago. Now it does. Maybe a couple years ago when they were thinking about maybe like rebooting, it didn't feel so far away, but now it does.
I know your sister was an executive producer. Like when she came to you with this idea, I mean, like what was your initial reaction?
Okay, so she's the creator and the executive producer, but she didn't come to me with the idea. She said, "I'm gonna have this girl, Drita, Karen, Renee. Do you know anybody?" And I was like, "Well, what about me?" She's like, "No, maybe you could work wardrobe." And I was like, and she didn't let me know that I was included till like maybe like a few days before the meeting. She would not, yeah, she wouldn't give it to me. She would not even give me that. This is what you're bred for. You know what I mean? Not at all. But that's my little sister. So there's always some sort of family girl drama with three daughters.
Did you have any reservations in joining, like when she said it was you, or were you like, hey, what about me? Like, where were you
Oh,
in the
I from day
beginning?
one when she talked about the show, and if I knew anybody, I was like, I'm the star, right? She was like, no, you're not even on it. I'm like, me, I have the no, you no circumstances. And she was like, yeah,
Why are you breaking? You're
I'm
silent
so
now. Oh, it's
sorry.
okay.
Um,
I missed all of that. I was gonna say.
okay. Um, she told me you're not even on the show. So I was like, what do you mean? Who could be a better mob wife than me? Who can top my story? And she just wouldn't let me know that I was, and she said she didn't want to deal with my ego. Now, I didn't know I had an ego, like that kind of ego. And I learned that in going through treatment, what ego actually meant. She was like, no, you got an ego. And I'm like, well, what does it mean? And she was like, Renee, you think of yourself in a specific way, like your father, and you're not daddy. So she's like, I didn't want to deal with it. I was like, but it wasn't like me, but although it was me. I had to understand to separate those two. It could be about me without being about me, you know what I mean? So and the sense of entitlement.
And you
She was
look and you learned that really from treatment. Like you didn't learn that from just the process of being on TV for all those years.
sense of entitlement. I was brought up, my father gave us everything. And that's what it was. I didn't know that it was supposed to be any different. I didn't know. My father always said, remain humble. You never know when it's going to be pulled for you. I didn't understand what humility was, you know. And again, I learned everything in treatment. And I maybe learned it like 3 years ago, FYI. After my father passed away 3 years ago, life got really serious because I'm like, well, who's going to take care of me? You know, I haven't been married and dating for so many years. I always had my father to take care of bills and my son, and who's going to take care of me? And I had to learn what it's